Are you thinking of buying, selling, or just finding that special place to rent? Sometimes it's easier said than done. Radio Diferente presents Los Cabos Home and Life, hosted by Dana Leuenberger, accompanied by experts in the real estate field. And so we begin.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dana Leuenberger, your host from Los Cabos Home and Life, and today we're coming to you live from Radio Diferente Studio in Cabo San Lucas. And welcome. We're very happy to be here. This is our first program for the 2019, and we have a very excited year ahead of us with many topics and a lot of things going on in the real estate business here in Cabo. I wanted to introduce our guests for today. We have Vincent Ferrero. Welcome, Vincent. Vincent is the new president of AMPI Los Cabos. Then here to my left, we have Justo Couto. He is a spokesperson for the Council of Tezal, and Alan Humphrey, that he's the president. Hi. So we're going to go right ahead to start because there's a lot of things going on in Tezal.
Absolutely.
And by the way, we got that. We just, in the group that we have that we started since the last time you were here, we started a WhatsApp group chat.
Yes.
And well, we had a very good announcement today. So if you would do us the honor.
Sure. Thank you. Well, thank you for inviting us again. Hi, everybody. It's great to share the table with my good friend. We just after we left the studio last time, we started this group. Actually, you started it, and it was fantastic it's been great to work together with both the WhatsApp and the Facebook groups that you're hosting, and we're sharing information through them. Because certainly there's a lot of stuff going on in Tezal. For instance, and this is today's news, we're very happy to announce that the patrol car that we got for the community already got their first thief, and it's all the way, in the process of being jailed, and he has 3 different orders of apprehension, and he's certainly going to jail for a while. And this is definitely thanks to the work that the council's been doing with all the community, and certainly along with Capitan Zamorano and the municipality. So that's the first thing that we can share today. This is today's news pretty much. But you see the council never stops working. We, like Alan mentioned last time, we've been already in the works for a whole year. Like last year, at this time of year, we were issuing a letter, all the different developments and homeowners from Tezal at the same time that they were paying their property tax, because this is also very important. Our ethics as a council, which is the one that you printed and absolutely shared, the ethics of the council are for creating better citizens. And a citizen not only will, make sure that his rights are respected, but also complies with his obligations. So we are all for paying our taxes on time, but at the same time, we're going to want those taxes to be invested in what we need. And we're certainly going to want our needs to be met within that period, or within a period that makes sense. It's not just going to wait forever, another 30 years to go by.
Oh, God, no.
And wait for a solution. So last year, we started with this program, or this idea of delivering a letter at the same time as we paid our taxes.
And may I interruption? So when we were texting, and I said, well, okay, I can print something and gather a bunch of signatures. But when you said, no, when you pay this and then you hand it to the person in the window, I go like, that is a brilliant idea. Because then they're going to go like, okay, another one. And like, it's not cheap, the property taxes that we paid. I just got my...
Well, some are, and that's also one of the things, no? The property tax compared to other countries is very low in Mexico.
Well, I do agree. But one of the things that we have heard when we would ask in the past, like we want pavement and we want better services, they would say, well, El Tezal is such a small area, you don't have enough people, so we concentrate more on other colonias and other neighborhoods.
Right.
No, but it's not like
Which
that
is really
anymore.
not an acceptable answer, no? And we're certainly not accepting that as an answer anymore. They haven't told us that. Probably they know better than to tell the council that kind of answers, because we certainly have contributed huge amounts of money to the city as a community, not only on property tax, which may not be as much, but how about on sales tax? You know, what's it called? The tax that you pay when it's ISABI in Spanish.
In Spanish is ISABI.
When a property
That
changes,
acquisition tax, it's 2% of the value of the property.
so you can imagine how much money that is.
Licenses.
Then the construction licenses. We do contribute our share, and as I always said, we are happy to do it. But we are not willing to keep waiting another 30 years to get something in return. And we are getting results, like this I was just mentioning about getting this first thief captured at Tezal. That's one of the first results we're getting, because we are working closely with public security.
I'm going to share that post and
Please do,
the picture. Me as a resident of El Tezal, I would not like to walk into my house and find someone like that.
Yeah, that's
That
a
was scary.
That's a scary guy, yes, absolutely. So now we're promoting that everybody prints this letter and delivers it at the same time as they pay their property tax. And the other thing that we're also promoting is that all the different developments that are now part of the council contribute with due for the council, so that we can start, creating projects of large scale. And we have several different ideas that we're working on. But again, this is the process of decision-making of 26 delegates or councilors that meet on a monthly basis and a yearly basis. We have our annual assembly coming. And then we decide what kind of projects we want to undertake at Tezal. But it's a huge range of projects, from proper signaling and the names of the streets to executive projects for actual infrastructure, important infrastructure that would be built and paid for with federal funds. We're talking about millions and millions of pesos that can be invested there, but the federal government requires the executive project to be made and approved. So if Tezal has the means of coming up with the funds to create these projects, we can manage, and then we can get the funds from the federation. And there's really no limit to what can be done, and especially legal processes that we can start in order to get enough potable water, in order to get, when it rains, we can get all the water sent properly to where it needs to be sent, and so on. There's a lot of different projects that we can undertake.
Yes, and one thing that I want to say is that we always expect the government to do everything for us, but in this case, the council, you guys, are doing the work, because we drive through those streets every day. We are the ones that don't have that water coming to our cisterns like so often, so we can let them know our needs. Like when you're coming through Vistana and where the new commercial Plaza Nova is, you're going to go up to the third phase of Ventanas and that little corner. Thank God there has not been an accident there, but we need stop signs and people to know that there's people that are going to go into the dirt road, especially now that all their area is getting so big and it's connecting to the Vista Vela. So I thank God nothing has happened. So those are kind of the things, and I think that everybody should be on the same page and step up and help you guys with their contributions. One question. if there's developments that have not chipped in or help or do their contributions, and how do they get together? How would they come with an amount that they can ask the homeowners inside every development?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We have proposed for the different developments to tie this due to the property tax. Because after thinking a lot about this and going around the idea for almost a year already, we realized that the one factor that equalizes the whole area, whether you have a single home or you have a huge residence within a gated community and so on, or if you have 100 square meters or 1,000 square feet or 10,000 square feet building and then a same amount in land, what equalizes those two properties is the property tax.
Mm-hmm.
And then because it has a factor within, for the value of the property, but for how many square meters or feet are constructed and how many are not and so on. So this factor equalizes all the different properties. Now, the next step is, okay, we tie it up, but how do we tie it up? Is it going to be a percentage or? So we came up with the proposal to come up with a 30% of your property tax, what you pay a year of property tax, a 30% would be like a minimum. And then a 50% would be a maximum. So within that range, between 30 and 50%, depending on, those residences that have huge properties, may be too much of 50% in property tax for the council. So they get to decide in their yearly assembly which percentage they want to contribute with. And the smaller developments can go up to 50% because they may be paying 1,000 or 2,000 pesos a year in property tax. So 500 pesos a year is not really a burden for anyone. And then we've had people that ask us, okay, but what are you going to do with that money? Why don't you
I was going to ask you that, yeah.
Why don't you present a plan before you ask for the money? Mm-hmm. And this is a circle that we have to break because you don't know what you can do with some amount of money when you don't even know how much money you can expect to get. So it's the same as when you're going to buy a car, right? Do you plan on buying a car and then you start saving? There's people who actually do that.
Yeah.
And then until they have enough money, they go and buy the car. And other people will do the opposite. We'll say, okay, how much money do I have? Then I'll go find a car that is within the amount that I have in my pocket. So this is the approach that we're taking because we know that there are projects that can be undertaken for 100,000 pesos or for 5 million pesos, right? If you are going to come up with a legal strategy to make sure that the whole Tezal area gets potable water, that can be done. But that's an expensive process. You have to go, maybe the process will go all the way to the Supreme Court eventually. So you need to be ready to undertake a process of that size. But that's why we are coming up with these numbers. And then maybe the first year we're only going to get 5, 6, 7 developments to contribute. And that's going to increase because this is a voluntary contribution.
But one thing that we have been seeing is that it's not just blah, 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 we're going to do this, or like actually things are happening and they're happening fast.
Right.
Like the patrullando.
Yeah, that happened in 3 months.
In 3 months?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
And we already have results.
And
it was a really clear process. We put all the bank accounts on the
statements.
Yeah,
we
the
uploaded
statements.
the statements. Yes.
because you both are businessmen, so you're bringing to El Tezal, to the council, a businessman approach. So we're very fortunate, and I thank you so much for all this work because we're seeing this tangible. We see the results. So I do encourage everybody to contribute.
Right.
If anybody wants to take this to their neighbors, contact me. We will share, and well, we have already shared the word the letter?
Absolutely. Yeah, and remember,
So you can print it?
we are the two that are coming to the interviews and are the public face of the council. But we represent thousands of families, and we do have a team of executives and people that are working on the council, where, again, over 20 people meeting on a monthly basis. And that's really a think tank. It's always coming up with new ideas and ways to do things and so on.
We would really like to meet everybody that's involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of
And to come, if we can come next time to one of your meetings, and
Please.
not through the whole meeting, or you let us know what would be the most appropriate.
Absolutely.
Because this is very important. Neighbors coming together, and the union makes us a force, and that's how things get done.
Absolutely. That's the only way to do it. You know, we've seen over these 30 years or 20-some years, we've seen some heroic attempts from different parts of the Tezal area that are trying to get one road paved, or they're trying to do, their own thing. But they always hit a wall. And what we've seen is that since we started this group, and with the representation that we have been rather successful in getting our needs, put on the table for the municipality. We have, at least so far, they've received us and they have heard us, and they know exactly how we want to do things and how we need, our needs to be addressed and so on. What they do about it remains to be seen, and that's what needs to happen within the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to
Okay,
happen.
or
I'm
sooner.
sure you guys are
Or
going to.
sooner, absolutely. We that's why this letter is so important. Everybody that goes and pay their taxes is going to request that this plan that we were talking about the last time you invited us, this important plan where all the different issues are addressed on the same document, and the diagnose and so on. This is like the Bible for the Tezal needs and solutions. And that's where we can come up, once the council has the funds, we can pick 2 or 3 or just one, as far as we can go, and work on the projects, on the executive projects for those particular needs that are diagnosed as most important.
Okay, so, and have a project, work on it, finish it from
Exactly.
start to finish, move to the second one, and that's
Exactly.
how things, just one step in front of the other, that's how things get done.
Absolutely.
So when we drive, yes, please.
About this letter, remember, this month there is a 20% discount to the property tax, so it's a really
That's
good time to do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's excellent. January is 20%, February 15,
15.
and then it goes like 10.
And
And-
5%.
and
yeah,
5%,
in
yes.
April.
Yeah, so when we're driving to our homes and we pass that puddle or something that we're not happy, just go to your printer, print this, take it when you pay your property tax, and you're contributing. That's a huge contribution.
Absolutely.
And let us know if you have more
We need
more
to
questions.
move on from complaining to acting, to doing something about it.
Okay, perfect. We have some comments before we go to our second segment. Ibea, she's watching. Hello. Estela, Francisco Javier, he says, estoy oyendo, I'm listening. Leonel Carrizo Olvera, he says, hello. Alexia Guillén, Mia Clunas. Castro Rodríguez Ramiro, Tezal Puro Arroyo diría... I'm going to say it in Spanish. Tezal Puro Arroyo diría a mi tata algún día con lluvia a ver cómo crecerá ese arroyo.
Así es.
Okay, so I'm not aware of that.
Well, what he's stating is that a lot of the Tezal area is crisscrossed by different sizes of arroyos.
Okay.
And yeah, that's part of what this plan, one of the main chapters of the urban planning for Tezal is hydrology and how this water is collected and what's going to happen with this water when it rains. And right now, you can see the development in Tezal is only a portion, a really small percentage of Tezal
Yeah, I think
has been
maybe
developed.
10%.
Maybe 10, between 10 and 20 maybe. But there's going to be a time when all these platforms and constructions and homes that will be built will not allow for the water to filter into the earth. And so that water will run And we need to have a channel where that water will, get all concentrated and then go down to the ocean. And right now, the way it sits is whenever a new development comes in, it stops the water from filtering in a large amount of square meters, and then they just send the water to whoever is next door, and so on and so forth. And it's just creating a bigger and bigger problem. But if we have a proper planning and we know what needs to be done, then that can be fixed. That's exactly what he means. There are lots of different arroyos. You need to switch from 20 different arroyos to maybe 2 important channels. Just like in every city. I mean, we're not coming up with the black yarn.
No, but I'm glad that you are doing this, because in the future, this would be a bigger problem, and you're looking for solutions and putting the time and effort to do this. Before we go to our break, anything you would like to add?
No,
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, please, if you're listening, people from the different developments, make sure that you bring this subject to the table when you have your yearly assembly with your neighbors, and do support the council. You have seen the way we work. The numbers are always transparent. Whatever money comes in is invested in what we promised that was going to be invested on. And without the help of the community, this effort will not be able to continue.
Exactly. We need everybody's help. Maybe in every development, couple of people can get together and just distribute this, or pass the word, share it to your friends that would be interested. And yeah, that's how we're going to get stuff done.
Yeah. Visit the Facebook page.
Yes, constantly. And it has a lot of good contact. Alexia Guillensi says, muy buen tema, like very good subject.
Gracias.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. And please, you're gonna be coming more and more often. So we're just gonna keep people informed of what's going on.
Perfect. By all means, thank you.
And thank you so much. So we'll go for a break. Vamos para un corte comercial, and we'll be right back.
And we're back to Los Cabos Home and Life on Radio Diferente.
Discover the latest trends that Puerto Paraíso Entertainment Mall has for you and your family. Pamper yourself with the best brands in footwear, jewelry, clothing, swimwear, makeup, and perfumery. Enjoy the beautiful view of the marina while you dine at one of our many restaurant options, and live the big premieres and discover the magic of cinema. Follow us on Facebook and find out about our events, promotions, and gifts. Plaza Puerto Paraíso, in the heart of Cabo San Lucas. Every day, all year round, Plaza Puerto Paraíso makes me happy.
You have questions? We have answers. Los Cabos Home and Life. Follow the live broadcast on radiodiferente.com and friend us on Facebook.
All right, and we're back again. And Monsieur Vincent Ferrero, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for joining us today. So first, congratulations, you're the new president of AMPI Los Cabos.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation. It's really a pleasure to have that kind of space in the radio to talk about real estate. I think this destination, touristical destination, but not just a touristical destination. I mean, there is a lot of people who are living here full time, and we are not tourists, okay? And I wanted to really say thank you for the invitation, and thank you very much to have this program, because it's very important to communicate about what we are doing here in the real estate industry, and to be sure that the people who are living here, the people who don't speak Spanish can understand what we are going to do, what we are doing, and the people who are living here who don't speak English, they have the possibility to understand what we are doing here in Spanish. So that's really good.
Thank you. And we're opening a new hour, a full hour in Spanish, because I was doing half an hour in English, half an hour in Spanish, so it was a little bit confusing, so we'll just leave it like each one of its own. Vincent, you have I was looking at your curriculum. You have a very extensive curriculum. So I want to know, who is Vincent Ferrero?
Okay, so I was born in south of France, and I grew up in a skiing resort in the Alps, in south of France, l'Alpe d'Huez, which is very famous for the Tour de France. And I started to ski a lot, and then to swim a lot. So I became French champion for swimming. I was 18 years old, and I went many years to swim in a high-level center. And I have sports gave to me the way to understand that if you want to reach high goals, you have to work hard. So the people who knows me, they know that I like to have high goals in my personal life and in my professional life. So then I went to the university and I started to learn law. Mm-hmm. And then I decided to learn business, and especially real estate. So if you want to be a realtor in my country, in France, you have to go minimum 2 years in the university. I went 5 years in the university, and I took all the classes with the National Real Estate Association of France and the National Association of the Developers. Because in Montpellier, in south of France, we used to, because now it's finished, we used to have a convention with those national associations to train the future real estate professionals. So that was really a great opportunity to me to learn real estate from crash. Even if my father used to be architect and my grandfather used to be a builder, but anyway, they told me, Vincent, you have to learn first.
No, I understand. So this is really interesting about your background, because your father was an architect and your grandfather a builder. So you grew up in
Yes.
properties like I did.
I remember when I used to live in l'Alpe d'Huez, I used to go with my grandfather on the buildings that he used to build and to paint, because they had to paint all that kind of things. And I grew up in this field. Then my father was talking about architecture, and he was talking about art, which is something, culture that I really like too. And so I started to have that context in my family. But the most important is what I have learned by myself in the university. And of course, the education that I have received from my family, especially to how to run a business and how to be honest, how to be perseverant, and how to respect each other.
Because you're a person that is always educating themselves, because coming from France and studying law there is different. Although there might be similar things like basic, but it's different than in Mexico.
Yes. So I have a master's degree in south of France. By the way, when I came here in Los Cabos, because I used to be married 12 years with an economist, Mexican lady, so that's the reason why I'm here. I have learned from crash here in Mexico. First of all, I didn't speak Spanish.
I was going to ask you, how many languages do you speak?
I speak 4 languages, Spanish, English, French, and German, which is, by the way, very important, because if you're serious in international real estate, you have to speak few languages. Minimum, I would say, English, which is basic in the business, and the language of the country where you are working. For example, here, Spanish. So I took a class 1 week in Salamanca University in Spain to learn Spanish. And I have learned Spanish here talking with the Mexicans.
Okay. Well, in Europe, that's very common. Like my father, he was from Spain, from Valencia, and grew up in Clermont-Ferrand. So he spoke like 5 languages. Like my mother-in-law, she was from Switzerland, the same thing.
I have origins from Spain, from Italy, so maybe it helps me to learn. I don't know, but I like to learn different languages. I want to learn Italian and Portuguese.
I don't think you would have any problem with that. So coming back, when did you move to Cabo? How many years?
11 years ago. Okay. I fall in love first with my Mexican wife. I've been divorced, but first I fall in love with a Mexican lady, and then I fall in love with
And she was lovely.
Los Cabos.
I met her.
Yes.
Very smart woman.
Yes, she is very smart, by the way. Now she lives in France.
Okay.
And I'm very happy for
and
that.
You stayed here.
And I'm staying here because I'm very happy for that because she used to be an economist in Mexico, but I've met her in France, and she started to learn everything like I did from crash, but in her case it was more important because she became, today, she is a hotel manager in France. So for a Mexican, it's really unusual, and it's really, really a very good success. And I have participated in that because we used to live 12 years together. She came in France. She didn't know how to speak French.
But coming back to you, so when you moved to Cabo, what was your first impression?
My first impression was the weather. And the view. I live in San Jose del Cabo, and I like very much the view that you have on Punta Gorda, on the Escape, and the estuary with all the palm trees.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's
and
just
I fall
gorgeous.
in love with that because I used to stay in the first hotel which has been built in San Jose on the beach. It used to be the Intercontinental President Hotel, President Intercontinental Hotel. And I remember I had the view from my suite on the Sea of Cortez and on the Escape, Punta Gorda, and the palm trees. So in south of France, on the French Riviera, where I started to be a realtor and working with developers and started my own real estate company there, we don't have that much palm trees everywhere like here. Okay. So to me, it's very exotic. And I love swimming, so I can swim in the Sea of Cortez. And I love this way of life.
It is a way of life. You just you pin a point there.
Yes.
It's a lifestyle.
Yes.
And like we work every day and we work hard, but you get to enjoy because here the area is so beautiful.
Exactly.
So Vincent, I remember when I first came here 10 years ago, we met. We were together with Shireen Kusam. We want to say hi to Shireen, excellent real estate agent.
Yes.
And we did the AMPI trade show in the Hilton Hotel.
Yes.
Well, we were a bigger group.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a lot of work.
And AMPI, the National Real Estate Association in Mexico, the largest one, which has started operation in Mexico in the 50s, in 1946 exactly. Is today the largest real estate association in Mexico. This is we have 72 sections in the country, and Los Cabos is one of them. And we have more than 2,000 members in all the country.
How many members?
More than 2,000 members. And in Los Cabos, we are 150 members.
That we're going to talk about that, how people, how much the realtors can join, and what are the benefits for them to join. So what are your plans for the AMPI Los Cabos for this year?
Okay, so before talking about the plans that I have, I would like to mention and to talk a little bit more about what is AMPI. What is AMPI? AMPI is a civil association for realtors, brokers, developers, architects, lawyers, public notaries. Everybody who is connected to real estate can join AMPI. It's a civil association. You just have to join as a person. You don't need to have a business to join AMPI, okay? Even if you're a businessman. So it means that it's an organization of people, and it's a big family. I have seen that in the country because I used to be part of the National Council of AMPI in 2014 and 15, and I used to be president of AMPI Los Cabos in 2013. So it's really a big family, and if you are serious, once again, in real estate, in national market, local market, or international market, you should be part of AMPI because it's very good for networking, it's very good for education, and it's very good for politics because our job is about rules and regulations. And we have a real estate law in our state of Baja California Sur, which has been published last year. And in all the country, we have 19 real estate laws today. And our state now has a real estate law. We are working on the rules and regulations of this law, which are going to be published in the next few weeks, and then it will be for everybody. So we will talk about that later.
Okay, I think we should just go for a petite break, and we'll continue back with the plans for AMPI.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Vamos a un corte comercial. And we're going to say hi to Harry Shikora.
And we're back to Los Cabos Home and Life on Radio Diferente.
Discover the latest trends that Puerto Paraíso Entertainment Mall has for you and your family. Pamper yourself with the best brands in footwear, jewelry, clothing, swimwear, makeup, and perfumery. Enjoy the beautiful view of the marina while you dine at one of our many restaurant options and live the big premieres and discover the magic of cinema. Follow us on Facebook and find out about our events, promotions, and gifts. Plaza Puerto Paraíso, in the heart of Cabo San Lucas. Every day, all year round, Plaza Puerto Paraíso makes me happy.
Alrighty, we're back. Okay, so we were talking about the plans for AMPI Los Cabos for 2019.
Okay, so this year, that's really the year to join AMPI. Why? Because of the real estate law and because of the project that the council of the board of AMPI Los Cabos we have. First of all, we want to increase the numbers of certifications and classes. So for the people who don't speak Spanish and for the people who speak Spanish, okay, you have the possibility to have different kind of certification, and this is one of the goals that we have for this year.
Because I know that there has been a lot of talk about if English-speaking agents, and they have to take it in Spanish, and
Yes.
there has been a little bit stress.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah.
So it's very important that if you don't speak Spanish and if you are involved in real estate in Los Cabos, you really have to learn Spanish. That's very important because the real estate law of our state doesn't contemplate to have education in Spanish.
Well, it's like
if
I go to California and I want to take my real estate license in Spanish, they would say like not existent.
No. And the same in France. If you want to be a realtor in France, you have to speak French. If you want to be a realtor in Canada, you have to speak French or English.
Correct.
And if you want to be a realtor in the US, you have to speak English.
So how are foreigners, like we're living here and they have a work permit, how are they going to take this test?
Okay, so there is one certification which is recognized by the Secretary of Public Education,
CEP,
which is Connoisseur of Commercialization in Touristic Zones. This is the only one official certification that you can take through AMPI as a foreigner who doesn't want or doesn't speak Spanish.
It's in English? No.
And the examen it's in English. Okay? It's a test. It's a certification. It's not a class. Okay? You need minimum one property sold, because you will have to give to the Secretary of Public Education documents that prove that you are involved in real estate.
An
Los
evidence,
Cabos.
a file of evidence. That's
Yes.
what it's called, carpeta
Yes.
de evidencia.
Uh-huh.
And it has to be like a year or 6 months before.
Depends. You have to justify that you have sold something or that you have rented something. Okay, so it can be 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, but it's better to have a little bit of experience, because you will have a sketch and you will have to explain to the evaluator how you manage all the process of the sales, since the first contact with the clients, how you list the property, how you sell, how you promote the property, and how you close a deal.
Yes, and so it's really good to be, and this is like a tip, very good to be organized and go back to your files and make sure
Yes.
everything's good, because we did the examination in July, and I remember being there and showing all my evidence, and I was missing one ID from the wife, that it was not even put in, she was not in the deed, but they were married. It was just that little detail, so I had to call her and said,
Yes.
could you please send me that, right?
Yes.
So just to be very organized
Yes.
and go
Yes.
back and start doing it. And it seems like it's like, oh my God, it's a lot of hassle, I'm really busy. But when we went through the whole conocer and the Plan Capa, that I have to say that it's, and right now it's just starting Plan Capa.
Yes.
And it's not a commercial, but I mean, anybody that should take advantage of that, because it's you know how to sell a property, but then you go like, oh, I forgot that, or
Yes.
yeah, you should do that. And so it's really good.
And techniques, like any jobs, techniques are important, but you need something more than just techniques. You need, as a serious realtor in Mexico, you need a little bit of knowledge of a little bit of everything. Laws, taxes, the public registry of the properties. You need a little bit of knowledge of marketing, how to market a property, and especially today with all the online promotion that we have, the social media, etc. So you need a little bit of luggages and knowledge, technical knowledge, but knowledge, not just techniques of how to sell, which is, by the way, very important.
It's a lot of things, because first of all, a real estate agent is an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Because we're out there and we don't get our payment until everything's closed.
Exactly.
And we have to be motivators, and we
Yes.
have to be prepared. And now with all this media thing going on, now we have to become a marketing also.
Exactly.
So when people say, oh, you just put a sign and you sell a house.
No.
Oh, no. I mean, more respect for our industry,
Yes,
for
and evaluation,
our career.
Evaluation. You have to give the value of the property to your potential seller. Okay, so you have to, of course, we have the MLS, which is another very important tool
I
that
love
we have in
MLS.
Los Cabos. And we can do the CMA, customer marketing analysis of the property to evaluate the property. But you have to be a little bit knowledgeable about valuation, which is another very important topic.
Would you agree with me that here in Los Cabos we have the best of both worlds? We have the MLS.
Exactly.
And we
Yes.
have AMPI, and like it's
Yes.
kind of like
Exactly.
if you live like in Southern California, but you're in Mexico, so you
Yes.
have the comfort and the more relaxed easiness, but at the same time you have that structure
Yes.
that the MLS provides.
Of course, education is the key, and AMPI will provide you networking, education, and the strongness of the negotiations and the relationships that we have to establish with the authorities at the state level and at the municipality level. So it's important because we are selling real estate.
Correct.
And real estate is connected to politics everywhere. And that's why we have this in AMPI, this function too. So you're not going to negotiate by yourself as a member of AMPI with all the authorities, but your representative,
In this
for
case,
this year
you?
myself, I will do it. So the ideas of the members or the wishes of the membership, as a president, I have to give this voice to the authorities. So that's why it's so important to have a voice. And through AMPI, you can have it. If you are alone without being an AMPI member, you don't have any voice.
Correct. So we have to, and also being a member, you have a voice when you become a member,
Of
right?
course.
So what is the price this year to become a member?
Okay, you have you have two kinds of membership in AMPI. You have the associate member, who can vote in the General Assembly of AMPI National at the National Congress each year in November or October. This year it's going to be in San Luis Potosí, and it's another very important opportunity to network with all the realtors in the country and from other countries, and to participate in the life of the association at the national level. And locally, you can vote as an asociado in our General Assembly of Los Cabos.
Just mention one or two topics about that people would vote on.
The budget, the money that we collect from the members and that we use for education, for promotion, and for lobbying. So that's the way you can say, I agree on that, I don't agree on that. And the direction that we are taking, okay, and giving some ideas, and AMPI is going to give you what you are going to give to AMPI.
Okay.
This is something that I have understood since the beginning. This association, you have to give, and you will have something back. Okay, if you just pay your membership and you do nothing, that's fine, but that's not enough. So you should do more.
Okay.
We're talking about sports. This is what it's about.
Contributing a little bit more.
Yes.
Okay, so we have two memberships. So
So-
the first one is
$500 a year, okay? And the other one, you don't have any votes in the assembly. You can't talk, okay, in the General Assembly, locally or nationally, but you have benefits of education and networking, of course, but you don't have a special prize for education. If you are asociado, you have special prize on events and education.
so one. Okay, so one. What is the price for the one that you
Asociado,
don't have?
The first one, asociado,
Okay.
$500 a year, and you can
do you
pay
do
in
it in
pesos.
US?
You can pay in pesos.
But it's set in dollars and just the exchange rate.
yes,
Okay.
and the other one is $250.
Okay, but you can vote with us.
No.
You're just a member.
Yes, and one of the goals that we have this year is to host the General Assembly and the National Congress of AMPI next year.
Oh, those are fun. I've been to a couple a long time ago.
It has never been here in Los Cabos since the existence, the creation of AMPI at the national level. We had never hosted the National Congress. So that's something that I would like to achieve with the group. And we need the vote in the General National Assembly because it's a competition. Everybody wants this, but you have like 2 or 3 candidates. And to reach this goal, we need new and more power in the General Assembly.
We go back, right, to
be asociado.
Okay, and the group
Yes.
makes it.
And the group, you can have 10 powers in the General Assembly. So it means that you have to go physically in San Luis Potosí to vote for Los Cabos, to be sure that it's going to be helpful for all the group, that we will win the competition, and we will host in October 2020 the next National Congress of, the next one for next year in Los Cabos, which is very good for our industry and for the public, but especially for our industry. Why? Because the developers can promote what they produce here. And we, the realtors, we can network with other agents and brokers from all the country, and some of them from the US and some of them from Canada, who are going to come here to make business with us. So that's what Los Cabos is about. If you want to do so, you have to travel. But if you have the chance to have this Congress here, it would be easier and less expensive for all the members to network with those people at home and
Correct.
to show and tour the properties after the events. And the National Congress, you have education.
Okay, I wanted to get to that part. So if you're a member at the $250, you get the education?
Yes, but you don't have special price on education. You have to pay a little bit more for education.
And what sort of education?
Oh, everything what we provide. So that's another point, very important. In AMPI, we have what we call el CCIE, el Centro de Capacitación, Investigación y Estadística, which is a training center at the national level. And in the sections, we ask this national training center to provide us the teachers, the evaluators, and the paperworks for the national official certifications.
Okay.
So that's why it's so important to be a member.
And those people have to come here. It's
Yes.
not like in the mainland that it's just like so.
Exactly, and we
everything's
pay
more closed.
with the fees that that the members are going to pay for the education. We pay all the expenses of the teachers. Talking about education, the goal that we have is to have one CIPS, which is the international certification for real estate, provided by NAR.
You're a
AMPI.
member of that, of both NAR and...
Yes, yes, I am going to talk about that too.
Okay.
So the CIPS, this is the Certified International Property Specialist. It's one of the that's the most important international certification of NAR. AMPI, we have an agreement with NAR. NAR, this is the National Association of Realtors from the US. They have a section for international members. And part of the due that you pay just as an asociado goes to NAR to be sure that you will be a NAR member. Okay? So that's the benefits of being asociado. You pay a little bit more, but you are a NAR member. And if you want to be a CIPS, okay, you take the class in English, and then you can promote, because they have special networks, all the CIPS all around the world.
And also you can add those when you're a member, asociado, on your business card.
Yes. Yes, you can use the logo NAR of the NAR if you are an asociado, or if you are a CIPS without being an asociado, which is, by the way, possible. But because when you are a CIPS, you have included in the fees that you have to pay to NAR, you have the NAR included in these fees too. So, but if you become a member of NAR through AMPI, you can use the logo R, which is very important for the Americans, okay? And if you are asociado, you can't use this logo. It's forbidden.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yes, I know that. Okay, Vincent, another question about the real estate law.
Okay.
That is a big question. Everybody's going like, oh.
Yes. So, education, once again. If you want to be prepared, you have time. Okay, I guess we are still working on the rules and regulation about this law. I guess at the beginning it's going to be quite easy to come in. Okay, but then it's going to be more. You will have more exigence according to the rules and regulation, and according to the list of the certification and the classes that the state council of the realtors is going to take. And it's not just AMPI. It's a group of 5 people in the states, which represent 3 people, the authorities at the state level, and 2 professionals. the president of ASPI, which is the local state association, ASPI, which is based in La Paz, and AMPI Los Cabos. So the president of AMPI Los Cabos, we have a voice in this council. In this council, this year, we are going to establish the list of the classes that you will have to take in Spanish. In Spanish.
Okay.
But at the beginning, the certification, all the classes that you can take through AMPI, especially the connoisseur of commercialization of real estate in the touristic zones, which is recognized by the secretary, the public secretary of education, will allow you to say to the local authorities, hey, I have this official certification. I took it in English, but that's okay because I have the Mexican paperwork and I want my license. Please give it to me. That would be great. Because at the beginning, then you will have, when the list of all the classes will be published in Spanish, you will have to take the classes for the renew of your license, which is going to be each 3 years. Good. So it means that if your level of Spanish is not that good, you have 3 years to really learn Spanish, so you have time. First, you join AMPI, then you take the classes and the certification of AMPI to be sure that you have something. And you say to the authorities, I'm not a tourist, I am a professional, okay? Give me my license for 3 years. You will pay for that. You will pay 1,500 if you are an agent. If you are a broker, you will pay 10,000 a year. Okay?
Oh, okay, could you specify, so that payment, 1,500 you...
To the state.
To the state?
For the state real estate license, you will have to pay each 3 years. If you are a broker, 10,000
Oh, that's not every year. That's every 3 years.
Sorry, each 3 years. Sorry.
Okay.
And as a broker, you will have to pay 1,500 pesos per year.
It has been approved?
Per year. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you will have to pay, as an agent, you will have to pay 1,500 pesos for 3 years. For 3 years.
Okay.
Okay. You have different level of license. I think we should make another interview just about this topic.
Yeah, because
when
this
I will have all the information about the rules and regulations when they are going to be published.
Okay, because there's a lot of concern, there's a lot of questions. Some people have been, I've heard like talking like personally, like, are we going to be able to sell? And I know people are just going to find a way to do it in a way, no?
But I think regulation in our industry is very important. It's like this in the majority of the states. Okay, like
why not? Like
19 states, they have a real estate law now. It's not just something that we want here. No, it's a general tendency in all the country, which is, by the way, good. Why? Because in the real estate law, by law, you will have a code of ethics. The same that you have in NAR, and the same that, not exactly the same, but the same spirit that we provide in our association AMPI, okay? You are protected. If you join AMPI, you have a code of ethics that you have to respect and that the others will respect.
And
okay.
you know what? There's nothing wrong with sharpening your pencils and being prepared.
Exactly.
And getting the education. Educating ourselves every day, reading a book is really good. We have a question from our friend Harry Shikora. Hi, Harry.
Hi.
By the way, Harry passed his exam.
I know.
He was the first English speaking, and congratulations.
Congratulations.
His question is, how do certification, federal, all that stuff. His question is, how do people sign up for AMPI? Website, info by mail, phone number.
Yeah.
Could you give me all that information so we can also put it on Los Cabos Home and Life?
If you want to join AMPI, it's very easy. Contact Norma de la Garza. She is the administrator of AMPI and of the MLS. Okay, it's downtown here, Cabo San Lucas. We have an office. You can go directly and talk to her. If you want to send her an email, she will provide you the form to join AMPI. The contact information is info@ampiloscabos.com, info@ ampiloscabos.com. Norma de la Garza, you can write your email in English.
And after the show, I will provide through Los Cabos Home and Life Facebook page all that information, so people
and you can
access.
if you want to text me, you can send me a WhatsApp 624-160-2883.
Okay.
624-160-2883.
Okay, we'll also put your phone number and that information. And
something very important: if you join AMPI as a new member in January, and if you are hiring with you other one or other two professionals, you will have a discount. So when you contact us, if you have friends, they want to join, okay, ask for the discount, but you have to be the referral of one or two people, and you will have a discount just for asociado, not for afiliado.
Okay.
And it's going to be very similar. So please join as asociado. We need the vote of the section to be strong enough to have the National Congress of AMPI next year to promote our business here.
Excellent. Well, we're coming to the end of our show. Vincent, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For
Thanks
coming, and we'll be working closely, so we'll be for the information and give all the content so people have questions. And everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Dana Leuenberger, your host for Los Cabos Home and Life.
Thank
See you next
Los
Tuesday.
Cabos Home and Life. Lifestyle tips on recreational events and professional advice on buying, selling, and renting real estate in beautiful Los Cabos.